Our guest is Dr. ACharvat4, and the topic is capital punishment in Tennessee after the conviction. And of course, Dr. ACharvat4, I think you've given us some excellent information dealing with the theories of capital punishment in Tennessee after the conviction. Let's give you an opportunity to continue that line of thought, or to perhaps introduce more, some additional topics in it that our audience might be interested in.
I guess a big question that I have, that I believe at this point is not known, and to my knowledge not been studied, is the impact of capital punishment on children and families. Not just the children and the families of the inmates, or the children and the families of the victims of the crime. I think a lot of children are impacted in a manner at this point that we're simply not taking a look at. I have had for many, many years a 10-year-old child in my house. They keep changing. It's not the same 10-year-old child, but one of the things that I have watched is the understanding of what is execution and how kids are processing this information and what it means to them. I think my kids had exposure simply through my work that they might not have had otherwise, but I have great concern and primarily going back to the execution of Coe and how this was impacted or how this was experienced by my children and by the other children that I saw. One incident happened at my daughter's elementary school that I just can't take from my mind. Apparently, a man was reading the steps of lethal injection out of the newspaper to his wife, and their little boy went to school and explained to all the kids on the playground the various steps toward lethal injection. I think we're desensitizing kids. I think the media coverage is very problematic because we don't want to overexpose children, but we also don't want to commit executions without adequate coverage. And I'm concerned, might not be a happening, but I'm concerned that that might be
a real issue.
I think another real serious concern that I have, I call generational recidivism. Recidivism, when you're dealing with parole and probation, that's an important factor. But when we're dealing with the issue that 70% of the children of incarcerated parents are estimated that they will follow their parent to prison.
70%, 7 out of 10. Is that what we're saying?
That's what has been estimated at this point. In fact, George Bush allocated a large amount of money for those children. But I have problems with how exactly it's being spent. There are many, many people effectively parenting from within the prison. Then I think that is a much stronger deterrent than role models outside of the family. And many, many people, there are classes, parents in prison, that are being offered and that have been for a long time. But again, I mean, this generational recidivism is another issue, and I think these are unintended costs of the death penalty. And as a third issue, I think it's really important just to simply look at the expense. The death penalty allowed us to look at cases with a magnifying glass, but so many cases within the prison are being unexplored in this manner. And I think that's one of the largest concerns, is the more money that the death penalty takes from our system, the less money is given to people who might be rehabilitatable and to families that might be reunited.